Good evening. My name is Diana Eads, and this is my presentation on my senior seminar for imaging science, IMS 499. It is entitled Obamacare, Medicaid, and America's Poor. After doing some research, this project is to identify whether or not Obamacare has successfully been serving Americans living near or below poverty level. My research objectives will focus on how Obamacare has affected Medicaid on the state level. Does Medicaid provide health insurance for America's poor? And does Obamacare provide coverage for all Americans? The Affordable Care Act, which is also known as Obamacare, was created in 2010. It promised affordable health care insurance for all Americans. This was quite significant at the time because there is a population of Americans who receive their health insurance through their place of employment. Some receive it through Medicaid. Some receive it through Medicare. There are individuals who purchased private insurance on their own. And I feel that one of the selling points for Obamacare was that it was going to fill a void for people who could not qualify for Medicaid or afford insurance on their own or through their workplace. Many of Obamacare supporters have spoken out about how successful it has been. Their success, as they're measuring it, is based on how many Americans who have signed up on any type of health plan. Currently, 10.8 million low-income adults and children have enrolled in Medicaid. As part of Obamacare, Medicaid has changed. Now, in the beginning, it was supposed to be across the board for all 50 states that Medicaid was going to be expanded. Currently, only 31 states have expanded Medicaid and 19 have not. The reason for this is that some of the states decided they did not like the idea of being forced into expanding their Medicaid and the eligibility requirements. In the states where Medicaid has been expanded, those eligibility requirements are strictly based on the individual's income. In the states where it has not been expanded, Medicaid uses the original guideline, which is limited to low-income children, pregnant women, parents with children, and adults with disabilities. Originally, all states, as I said, were supposed to expand the Medicaid programs. This became a problem because the states who did not want to went to the Supreme Court and had it decide whether it was constitutional to have the Affordable Care Act force them into doing that. In 2012, the Supreme Court ruled each state had the right to not expand Medicaid, although the federal government would provide funds to do so. In a state where Medicaid has been expanded, adults can qualify without any dependents. It is based strictly on their income. This income can be as high as 138% of the poverty level. This translates into about $27,720 for a household of three. Now, if a state has not expanded Medicaid, it uses its original eligibility criteria. An adult with an income at poverty level of about $16,242 or less is not eligible, whether they have dependents or not. At this level of income, the individual is not eligible for any kind of subsidy from the marketplace unless they make $16,243 or more, and these subsidies are used to offset the cost to purchase other insurance. In the states where Medicaid has been expanded, many low-income Americans and their families cannot qualify for insurance. This to me is a major problem for Obamacare, because this is why Obamacare was created. They're unable to meet the original eligibility requirements. This is many of America's working poor. These are young people starting out working at McDonald's, older people who can't qualify for Medicare yet. This also means that the individual can be too poor to qualify for the marketplace subsidies and make too much to qualify for Medicaid. Currently, there are 4 million uninsured Americans in states where Medicaid has not been expanded. Now, in conclusion, after going through all of the literature that I found, to me, inconsistency in Medicaid is what causes these coverage gaps. This is a direct result of the Supreme Court ruling of 2012. If the coverage gaps continue to exist, then there will still be uninsured Americans. And I don't see how anyone can say Obamacare is successful if poor Americans still cannot qualify for health insurance. As I said prior in this presentation, 10.8 million have qualified for Medicaid, 4 million still are uninsured, where the states still have regular Medicaid. To do away with the coverage gap, I think they have to make Medicaid equal across the board. I do not believe that going back to the original Medicaid issue is the answer. I believe that all states should provide some sort of expanded Medicaid. I think this will help Obamacare, and it will make it more successful in the long run. Thank you.